Hello, welcome to my tutorial again. Today we are going to discuss the Visual Studio 2010 IDE. First, when we open the Visual Studio 2010, we get this screen. And if we want to start our project, we have to click New Project. And after clicking the new project, a dialog box will appear, and here we have a list of project type. Like if we want a Windows application, we have to click the first option. And likewise, we can have the console application, web application, class library, etc. We'll demonstrate using the Windows Form application. Here we'll click, and here we'll write the project name. The default is Windows Application 1, and we can rename it as My First Application. Then click OK. And we will get the IDE, the IDE editor. What is IDE? IDE is Integrated Development Environment. IDE provides a wealth of features unavailable in ordinary text editors such as code checking, visual representation of the finished application, and an explorer that display all of the files that make up the project. So this is the IDE, and here we have the toolbox. Uh, these tools and windows are floating. That means we can change their position. Sometimes we can hide it and unhide it. We can dock it, and then, like, suppose we have this toolbox here. We have toolbox here, and if we want it to be fixed here, then we'll just click this button, and here it will pin it here. So we have a number of tools here. So this one is the toolbox window, and this one is the menu bar. Here we have the menu bar consists of all the common frequently accessed actions. So these are the toolbars, and here we have this menu. Sorry, we have this one is the menu bar, and we have this menu, and the next is the toolbar. This one, it is having a small icon in which we have all the frequently accessed functions. And here we have the toolbox. In the toolbox we have all the components which we can use in our application. And on this side we have the solution explorer. The solution explorer is it contains all the files, all the necessary files for the project. And here we have the property windows. In the property windows, we have the properties of the control. Here we have only form 1, so this one is the form 1 properties. Sorry. And at the middle we have the designer, the form window, and on double clicking we have the code window. So the first one is the design window, and separately we have the code window. This one is the code window. So we have two separate files for the design and the code. So we can toggle here and there, and here also we can have the designer and the code. Otherwise we'll double click and we'll go to the code. So these are the main IDE for the VB. And first let's see with this one, the menu editor. It is a dynamic, which means items are removed or added depending on what you're trying to do. So we have files contain, like the new project, open project, and we can add project, we can close project, we can save all those common things. In edit we have undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, find, replaced. And here we have the different this one window. So we sometimes if we want, if the solution explorer is not seen, then you can take it from here. Like suppose if we don't have the solution explorer here, then we'll click here solution explorer, then we get back the solution explorer. Likewise, and project we have the we add new with new windows form, add user control, add component, add modules, etc. And here we have the build application to run the application. And this one we have debugging option, like suppose to trace the errors and to trace how our software is running, we have this option. And these are all the menu editors. And next we have the toolbar. In the toolbar, as I have already mentioned, it contains a number of small icons, here. So like we have this cut, copy, paste here, but since it is used regularly, we are having it in the toolbar. And these are the default toolbar. We can add additional function here. So if we want some text editor or something for formatting, then we can just add it here in the toolbar. And this toolbar is mainly for like easy access of the frequently used functions. So the next we have the toolbox. And as I have already mentioned, the toolbox is a palette of developer object. So here, suppose we do not see this one, sorry. Suppose here the tool in the toolbar we have a number of sub option, like all windows form, command control, containers, menu, data, components, and for printing also we have. And this toolbar can also be customized by right clicking on the space, and then we can choose item. So suppose if some components which we want to use in our project is not seen here, then we can just right click and choose item. And a dialog box containing a list of components will appear, and then you can just select whatever components you like. Just wait a while because it takes some times. Here here we have a number of components. So if it is not available in this default toolbox, then you can just select it from here. Then next we have the solution explorer. It is used to view and modify the content of the project. We can add form also. And like suppose if we want some picture in our project, we have to add in the solution explorer. And in the next we have the property window. Here suppose in our form I'm adding some text label. Okay, so I'm putting some label. So as we can see here in the property window, this is the property for label 1. So we can change its text. Like here text we have welcome to my first application. And we can change the font size also. Font size, font size 14, 16, bold, and font type also anything we can put it here, and we can change its color also from here for color maroon. It's not very visible. I'll choose some other color. Font size, okay, green. Okay, and the same way, like suppose if I add button in my form, then it will have another property here, button one. So I can change the here the font size of that button, the font the font style, the font size, everything here. So each and every tools, each and every components is having a property. So depending upon of what we select, its corresponding property will be displayed here so that we can change it. And as I have already mentioned, at the middle we have the designer or the code editor. It is a place where the layout of the page are done. We can drag and drop the required control like text box, label, image box, radio button, etc. from the toolbox. After you finish the design, you have to add some code to make it actually do something interesting. So if you as I have already mentioned, if you want to add code for the in the project, we have to just double click. Like suppose if I want a button, then I'll just double click it, and then the corresponding code will appear. So these are the general, like the integrated and development environment for Visual Studio. And here we have the help system. So we can have uh, this we can have online help policy, but generally we don't use this menu very often. And uh, we can save our project, and here my first application is our project, so I'll just save it. And the default application will be save in C user, and this is the username, documents, Visual Studio 2010 project. So it will be in this folder, and we can also change uh, its location, but for in the meantime we'll just save it in the default location. Save. And next is we will uh, how do we run the application. So we have this play icon. This one is for to run the application. Otherwise, instead of this one, we can also use this start button, this option, or using F5. F5 is the shortcut key. And like suppose we'll run our project here. Here this one is the output screen. And when we click the button, then this the corresponding code will be generated. But for this tutorial we do not add any code, so uh, nothing will happen. And we can close it, or we can close it from here also. Okay, that is all for the VB 2010 IDE tutorial. Thank you.